Hello, Quilt Artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel, Under the Needle. I hope you all had a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. I just got back from mine yesterday. I traveled to Georgia and spent some time with my fiance's family. I normally spend Thanksgiving with my family, but for the past couple years, we've visited with his family. So it's been kind of a nice change, because it's different food and different people, different atmosphere. So it's been nice. So I hope you guys had a great time because we're back. Vacation's over. So while I was gone, my Sew Sampler came. So I guess this would be the November Sew Sampler. Let's go to the overhead. I have no idea what we got this month. I have not looked at the sneak peeks or anything on the blog or anything like that. So then this tells us, well, if you're familiar with fabric and fabric lines and fabric designers, then we pretty much feel like we know what this is. So this is Happiness Blooms Within. This is November 2022. I'm guessing maybe Country Rose by Layla Boutique. Let's see. So we've got some triangles on a roll, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right. The box is always really well done, guys. And then on the back of this is a coupon. So let me come back up. All right. No, wishful thinking, though. So our coupon is 25% off Fat Eighth bundles. That's what we've got this month. It expires January 20th, 2023. I did not do any shopping at Fat Quarter Shop. They normally do a 20% off coupon for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, blah, blah, blah. And normally, for me, 20% isn't enough of a sale to make me jump on something unless it's like different, unique, special, gotta have it. But just like for just general scrolling and shopping and saying, oh, I think I like that, 20% isn't enough for me. But if I can take the 20% off of the sale price, then I can usually get there. And in the past, I feel like they've allowed that, but this year they did not. So I did not do any shopping with them. But I did a lot of other shopping. I might not have been home, but now that you can shop from your phone, you can be anywhere. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. November started out well. It did not end well. But let me look and see what we got real quick here. Okay. This looks interesting. Okay. So let's get to the contents of this box. So we've got some ribbon. It's 1-inch ribbon, 1.5 yards. It's from the Cinnamon and Cream line by Fig Tree. Got a cute little pin in the end there. Little pearl tip pin. Let's see what else we got in here. I don't know what I would do with this ribbon. I don't really use ribbon. It's pretty though. But I don't know what I would do with this. We have this here. I've never seen this. This is a dog ear clipper tool. Dog ear clipper tool. This is interesting. I don't think it's necessary though. This is one of those tools you don't need, and it might be fiddly to use. So basically you can use this to trim the dog ears off your triangles, off your half square triangles before you actually press them open. So, and the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer does that as well, but it's way more expensive, I'm sure, than whatever this tool costs. So basically, I don't have a half square triangle handy, but if this was my half square triangle here, I'd be able to put my tool like this and trim the dog ears here and here. Now, what I normally do is freeform it with my rotary cutter and just go and just, kind of free form with my rotary cutter and just trim here, and, you know, just trim the corners and well, the opposite corners it would be. And so that's kind of how I would normally do it, but to each his own. But I also generally don't like to press my triangles before I open. What am I trying to say? I like to square up my triangles before I press them open. No, after. I can't even, it's my first day back. I like to square up my triangles after I press them open, because sometimes when you press, you can stretch that triangle a little bit. You can stretch those edges a little bit. And when you do that, then your triangle, your half square triangle can be a little wonky, you know? And so if you square it up after, then you get rid of that wonkiness. You don't have to worry about it. So I personally would not use this. I would not use it for its intended purpose. Now, it is still a straight edge, so it could be useful for something. But for me, I wouldn't use this for its intended purpose, because there's just too many easier ways to do this. Either by, if I just wanted to just free form and clip and use my rotary cutter to just clip those little triangles off and then press it open, that's an option, and I've done that as well. I probably wouldn't drag out this tool. I don't think that it's not a worthwhile thing. I know a lot of people are way more into precision than I am. I'm not a precision sewer. So keep that in mind. The people who run Fat Quarter Shop, the woman who runs that, Kimberly Jolly, she's very much a precision person. So I could see how this might be beneficial to some people, just not me. Okay, so this is triangles on a roll, color-coded washi tape. So basically what this is these are stickers that you would put on your triangles on a roll, because they actually literally come rolled up like this, because we got some triangles in a roll today. So they come rolled up like this. And so you can, when you're done, use the right size. So this is 2-inch finished half square triangle paper. So then I would go to this sheet and I would find that circle and I would use that to keep my paper closed. Now, it's been a while since I was disappointed in something from Fat Quarter Shop. I'm pretty generally happy with the Sew Sampler every month, especially given the price point. But this particular item, no. Because it's really only beneficial to you if you have triangle paper and you have it in multiple sizes. Now, I am aware that there are a lot of people who follow Fat Quarter Shop and who follow Kimberly, and they do exactly that. Like, they have all kinds of different sizes of triangle paper, and this would be very useful to them. But for your average person, not so much. I don't really think this is useful for your average person. Of course, we have another block in our Bliss Sew Along. So, see if I can show you guys the block without showing you the pattern. So this is this month's block. You know, and if you're interested in making something like that, that's a lot of small half square triangles, and triangle paper could be pretty useful to make that many and make them accurately. But just, this is that's 20 different ones. And no, there's more than that, because there's 3 or 4 different sheets of this. How many sheets are in here? I can't even, okay, here it is. See if I can get it open. Oh, I'm struggling with this. 1, 2, yeah, there's 4. So there's 80 circle stickers here for triangles on a roll. So how many people have 80 different triangles on a roll? Well, I mean, even if you have 5, I mean, I guess maybe there's a large segment of her viewership that has, 10 and 15 different triangles on a roll, and that this would be super useful for them. I say start including a little circle with every time somebody buys one. So when you buy 1-inch finished half square triangle paper, you get this little circle with your purchase. How about that? I think I showed that block. It'll be all right. It's 1 block and a very large sampler quilt. Now, the pattern I really like. So this is our pattern. It's a table runner. It's 22.5 by 54.5. I think this is pretty. So this is our fabric bundle. This is Forget Me Not by Allison Harris for Wyndham Fabrics. Was hoping it was going to be Country Rose, but it's not. This is pretty fabric. It's very, very primary colors. And I like that sometimes. I picked up, I think sometimes it's better done. Sometimes with the primary colors, I don't know, it just reads very much Crayola to me. So I like when they kind of do it in a little bit different way. And there was one earlier called, that came out, I think it was earlier this year. It was called Indigo Garden. And I think it was Heather was her name, but I can't remember her last name. And I think it was for Riley Blake. And that was all primary colors, but the way that it was done was very well. This is okay. I don't like this as much as Indigo Garden. This is something that will probably show up on a future giveaway, because this isn't really for me. I think I might want to try this triangle paper. So I think I am going to keep this triangle paper. I have been wanting to try it. I've never purchased it. We did get some in one of our Open Gate quilt subscription boxes, the one with the pillow. But when I made my pillow, I did not use the triangle paper. So I used a different method of construction for my pillow. So I didn't use the triangle paper. But 2.5-inch half square triangles, this could be pretty useful. And this looks, no, not looks, this is full size. This is full size. This makes 800 2-inch finished half square triangles. That's a lot. That's a lot. I could see, I think this is pretty useful. I'm in my quilting journey right now where I want large pieces. And that's kind of my preference right now. Just large pieces, not a lot of matching points. Keep it simple. That's just what I prefer right now. And because that helps me to relax a bit better. Whereas some people are a bit more different, and for them, the intricacy, making tiny things and making, smaller blocks and intricate things, that is kind of what their therapy is. Mine is a little bit different right now. And sometimes it changes. It's not always the same, but that's just what it is right now. So this is probably the first box I've had in a long time from Fat Quarter Shop. A really, really, really long time. Like, I don't think there was a single box in all of 2022. And I can't even say that I'm really disappointed in the box. I can't say I'm disappointed in the box. It's just okay. This is an okay box. And I feel like that's all right. Again, given the price point, this box is $25. $24.95. That's what we pay for this. And then with your tax and your shipping, it ends up being like $32. And as far as subscriptions go, that's one of the lower cost ones. I don't know of one lower cost where you get this much. I don't know of one. You always get fabric, you always get a pattern, and you always get some notions, always. And for that, I still feel like it's worth the money. I'm not going to cancel my Sew Sampler over this box, but I will say it's the first one that I was kind of like, really? Really? How much is this? I want to know. How much is it? I need to know what the value is of this. $8.48. I don't know. I don't know. And and honestly, I've watched enough Fat Quarter Shop where I have specifically heard Kimberly say that she uses just regular washi tape and she just writes on it what it is. And so I guess, this is kind of good because if you are Kimberly and you own Fat Quarter Shop and you have every triangle on a roll there is, and it does come with a very, it's color coded. So you can say, okay, I've got the pink, red, orange, and you can kind of easily find your sizes based upon the color of the dot. But you could also just go down to your local Joann's or Michael's and buy different washi tapes and probably pay less than $8.48. I don't know. I don't know that this is, I guess if I had like 10 or 15 of these and I was having trouble keeping them all organized, then sure, I might pay the $8.48 to buy something like this. But if you just have a couple, 2 or 3, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know. But this is what we got. So we got these triangles in a roll washi tape stickers to keep our triangles in a roll closed and they're not popping open. So, for when you really think about it, even though this isn't useful to me, they probably would have made a lot more money if they hadn't put it in the box. Because if you are somebody who maybe just has 5 or 6 of these, it might be worth you paying $8 to get this. If you're anal like me, and if you're extra like me, and you buy unnecessarily things like me and like other quilters do, they probably could have made so much more money by not including this in the Sew Sampler and making people buy it. So maybe kudos to them for putting it in. Because I know that's how Kimberly keeps hers closed. I know she uses washi tape, and I thought I heard her say that they were making something to make that easier to keep them organized. So I guess it's been in the works. Okay, so we got that. We got this ribbon that I don't know what to do with because I don't use ribbon. It's pretty ribbon. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be making some pouches, some storage pouches. So maybe I can just use this as an embellishment. Yeah, that'll work. And then we got this dog ear clipper tool to cut our dog ears. It's this, that glare is awful. But it's this little plastic tool here, and we can use it to trim off our dog ears. Again, as I said, I would probably never use this tool. When I do choose to trim my dog ears before pressing if I know I'm not going to square it up, if I'm not squaring it up, I'll just go ahead and just quickly just nick those little corners off at an angle, and I'll just guess a 45-degree angle, nick those corners off, and press my triangle open. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I would never take the time to use a little ruler. And then if I was going to use a ruler, I would just grab one of these maybe, because it's the Creative Grids 1 by 6.5. And this came in a Sew Sampler box, and I love this little ruler. So sometimes it's a miss, but usually it's a hit. This was a hit. This Creative Grid 1 by 6.5 or 1.5 by 6.5. Great little ruler. Would much rather use this to cut those little dog ears. Just me, just saying. Or any ruler, really. You could use any ruler, but I just eyeball it. We have this adorable pattern here where we can either make a 30.5 by 38.5 wall hanging or baby quilt, or we can make a 22.5 by 54.5 inch table runner. And I actually think this is really pretty. I could definitely see myself making this. This is pretty. And of course, that's where these triangles on a roll come in, I would assume. Let's see, we got some stitch and flip corners. Yeah. So you're making, ooh, 180, 192. You are making 192 2.5 inch unfinished that's for triangles. Wait, is that correct? Hold on. No, sorry, you're just making 96. I was double counting. No, you're just making 96. So you're making 96. So because you got a whole one, because this makes 800. So even once you've made all 96, you still could make another 704 more. And so also, if you wanted to make this quilt larger, because it is, you know, you would have plenty of triangles on a roll to make more blocks and make this larger, because this actually really is nice. This really is nice. I'm probably gonna have to do the math when I'm bored sometimes. Not bored, but sometimes when I'm down here, I actually don't do any sewing. Right? Sometimes, well, I do a lot of sewing, but a lot of times when I'm down here, I'm really just sometimes I'm looking at fabric, sometimes I'm looking at patterns, sometimes I'm studying patterns, which is not the same thing. And sometimes I'm doing quilt math. So it's like, okay, so the pattern designer has us cutting the fabric in this way. They have us cutting, 6.5 inch squares and putting the squares together and drawing a line from corner to corner to make 2 half square triangles. But what if I don't want to make it that way? What if I want to use the 4-at-a-time method to make my half square triangles? Because that's my preferred method. How would I cut that? How much fabric would I need? What would I need to do? What would I need to change? Is it possible? If it's a pre-cut, is it possible for me to do it that way? So I'll sit down here and I'll just do math, because I'm a math-brained person, and I'll just do quilt math. I don't know why, but I can literally sit here and do it for hours. Like I sat here one day and I realized, because I saw this quilt pattern that I liked, and it was a free pattern. And I was like, oh, that's great. I like that pattern a lot, right? And so then I started, I didn't like how some of the components were done. I'm like, that could be strip pieced. Why are we putting that together that way? Like, that doesn't even make any sense to do it like that. No. So then I start doing it my way. And as I'm doing it, I realized there was an error in the pattern. It was wrong. And I only knew that there was an error in the pattern because when I tried to redo it, the math wasn't working out, and then I realized the pattern was wrong. And so I basically, and then I had the nerve to, this is how anal I am. It makes no sense. I then went into Adobe and adjusted the pattern to be correct and to be cut the way I would want to cut it when I make it. And strip piece the way I would want to make it. I don't know why. It took me a whole day because I thought I had it all worked out, and then I realized the pattern was wrong and everything was wrong, and I had to refigure and recalculate and retype everything up. But such is life. That's how I spent a whole day. Anyway, and then of course we got our fabric bundle. I almost forgot to re-show that. This is Forget Me Not by Allison Harris for Wyndham Fabrics. And I really actually do like this. I try to be realistic in what I'm going to use. And I have so much pretty fabric that I personally chose that would just come way before this bundle. Way before this bundle. Despite its prettiness. It really is pretty. We've got two dark blues. You've got the plaid, which is a nice touch. You've got the two light blues. You've got a medium green and a light green. Then a yellow. And then we kind of have this, I mean, it's definitely red. It's reading brighter on the screen, but it's a bit more, it's kind of toned down red. It's kind of toned down, like a little bit washed out, not really washed out. It's a bit orangey, like it's a bit more toward the orange side of red, but it's still red. And then we've got this kind of corally pink here, and then the pink floral, and then this very light pink one in the front. It's kind of reading white in the camera, but it's not. It's a very, very, very light pink. I like this fabric. I really do. But I don't think I'm going to use it, and it's kind of too pretty to allow it to sit on my shelf when I know, like I can't even, even in the next 5 years, I couldn't say. But it is really nice to look at. So I don't know. I might look at it for a while before I give it away. I do that sometimes. I'll look at it for a while. I'll let it sit on my shelf and pet it and look at it for a while. And then when I'm ready, then I can give it away. And it's a little less painful that way. Anyway, that's it for me. And I will see you guys next video.